Here's something that a lot of EV enthusiasts, people are so high on the technology and so excited about the process or the future of electric vehicles. Here's something they don't tell you when it comes to buying a used EV. And it's important because the key to enjoying your electric vehicle, a used one anyway, because the newer ones, they have good range, but the key to enjoying your used electric vehicle is to avoid range anxiety. And here's what can happen. I'm sitting at a DC fast charger right now. I never do this. I never do this because I follow this one simple trick to always avoid range anxiety, which I'll share in just a minute. But what they don't tell you is that electric vehicles, especially older ones that don't have great battery management, they have terrible range drop off in the winter. Like right now, I'm sitting in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's 24 degrees Fahrenheit. It's very cold, and the battery gets probably 40% less range than it would if it was like 75 degrees, like in the summer. So it's since I didn't, we've got two cars to charge. I charged one. I didn't fully charge the other. Here you go. You end up at a DC fast charger in your hometown, which you should never have to do if you plan it correctly. So that's something to keep in mind when you're buying an EV. Now, here's the one trick you need, and this will save you from ever having range anxiety, ever having to worry, will I make it home or get charged? Figure out how many miles you drive a day. Now, for me, it changed recently. I'm in commercial real estate now. I drive quite a bit. So I probably drive between 70 and 80 miles a day. Probably somewhere in there. It'll fluctuate, of course, like anything. But figure out what you drive most of the time. And if it's like, let's say it's 60 miles, say your commute 60 miles, double that and make sure you buy an EV that has at least 120 mile of range. That way you go to work and back, you're fine. You need, winter comes and it cuts your 40% off your battery, you're fine. You can still get to work and back. You need to run in the store after work, you're fine. So just make sure you don't buy the car that just perfectly matches your circumstances. If you live in a cold weather area, especially, maybe double that. Double what you think you need. And then you'll never have the anxiety of wondering, am I going to make it home on a charge? Okay. And then, I don't know about your town. My town has ready fast chargers all over the place where we feel good here about our situation. They don't always work. I tried Electrify America one recently. It just didn't work, even though it's almost brand new. But ChargePoint, where I'm at now, these have rarely ever let me down. And I don't know, and I'm not plus one company, minus another company. They're both probably great. But when I have a choice between a ChargePoint charger and a Electrify America, I'm always going to choose ChargePoint just because I almost never let down. With the other one, I've been let down several times. Electrify America, I get there and it just doesn't work. So anyway, something to keep in mind, and hopefully that's changing. I don't want to talk negative of that other company. I know they're doing a good work getting chargers out there. We appreciate that. But there seems to have just been, well, there has definitely been more bumps in the road in my experience. So I can only speak from my experience. So follow that one simple trick. Whether you're buying a used Nissan Leaf, you're buying a used BMW i3, you're buying a Kia Niro, whatever it is you're buying, if you're buying a used electric vehicle, figure out how much range is left on that vehicle and make sure that's double what you think you need. And if you do that, range anxiety will not be in your vocabulary and you'll be very happy in your EV. Chad, Drive the Lightning, the Positively Charged EV channel. Thank you for the members of the channel. By the way, if you want to become a member of the channel, it's just a couple of bucks. Hit the join button, go through the steps, see if it's for you. Also, those who bought mugs, the Mug Club, you know what you did and you know why, and we're going to cash in those chips very soon. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's another video here about the BMW i3. That's the car I'm sitting in right now. This video shows how it does in the snow because we get a lot of snow here in Michigan, West Michigan. So check that out. Maybe that's the car for you. I don't know. BMW doesn't pay me. It'd be nice. All right. Have a great day.